So what's up?
I'm excited. Yeah.
I mean, we see each other in university every day, Sasha.
Yeah. Well, today you were not there. You were online.
Yeah, today was the first time I went online. Yeah, you all want to
Today
talk.
was one of my few times when I actually went in person.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said you want to talk. You're half of the time you're not there, you're working.
Yeah.
Has it been particularly crazy over the last few weeks?
No, we already started recording, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just to make sure. Yeah. No, I wouldn't say it was like crazy. I spend around like 3 to 4 hours per day working on my business in Russia. Like sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It's like always like this. Like it depends whether like we have clients coming in, whether we need to like formulate basically the commercial like proposals for them.
Yeah.
Um, like I have a co-founder in Russia who's basically like bringing on clients and who's like generating leads, and
Right.
I'm working on like if and she then passes work on like onto me to do the presentations, to like make PowerPoint slides, to actually like calculate all the proposals and present to the client, and then we present to the client together. And
Right.
then depending on whether we have this client or not, then like we work on the case.
That is so interesting because we spoke about it very briefly. I know that you do something that the other could you just explain what your company does? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah. So it's a startup in HR tech.
Yeah.
I started it around 2 years ago, maybe even like more now, because like the company is running for a bit more than like 7 months, like 8 months maybe now already. But the idea came to me about 2 years ago, so I'm thinking about it for a long time,
Yeah.
and we're testing people, and then we're saying if these people are going to be good at working together or not. So we're basically forming teams and testing if people are going to be good as a team together.
All
And
right.
then we're suggesting to the clients to restructure the teams or just give them recommendations on how to improve the like compatibility. If there is like the compatibility is quite high, like how to improve the performance of the team.
And how do you do that?
So we put together a team of like methodologists who created a like a methodology to diagnose the types of people, and the assumption is that similar types are going to be better working together than people who are not compatible, like than people who are not like similar. And in terms of similarities, I like we still want to the environment to be diverse, but we're looking at similarities on mostly the goals, like how people perceive goals, and
Right.
secondly, how they see they need to achieve these goals. So the pathway to achieve the goals. So these are the like the two milestones, like main milestones, and then we're also looking at what type of leader you want to be in if you're talking about an employee, and like what type of the employee you want to be leading if you're a leader. We're looking at the organizational culture that people are more comfortable being in.
Right.
Yeah, these type of things.
Okay. So as I understand, it's in the form of a, let's say, do you do a survey where
Yeah. It's like a 20-minute survey. You like choose basically you have 30 questions. You choose like whether you agree
right.
more to one like some things and whether you agree less to some like other things.
Yeah.
And then we like create your profile, and
Right.
based on that, yeah, we put recommendations.
All right. So basically, so as I understand, like we're currently studying like similar things in our OB class, organizational behavior class. So you must be doing a lot of readings on those lines for a very long time to try and come up with the content, the
Oh,
survey.
with the yeah, like
Right.
in terms of the research I'm doing, like I'm doing and like still currently doing, it's a lot. So I wouldn't say that our OB class touches that much on what I'm doing, and even I
Very,
even like try to
it's very basic though,
talk
isn't
to.
it, compared to what probably you are doing. You're doing
I
much more.
mean, we're just like touching the basics. We're just like touching a bit on everything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if like we don't go in depth in the OB class, and I know what I mean. I get why, because everybody's on a different level, and he
Yeah.
just wants to give us the general overview of what the OB is. But from the research that I've done, basically there are like three main pillars of good teamwork. So first, I'm sorry, I'll close my. So basically, first is psychological safety. So the people need to like feel safe in an environment and be like be open to talk about their ideas and what they actually think. So it promotes like a sincere communication. Then there is the sense of general like a shared identity between people. So they need to be a team, but not just a team in terms of the goals, but also a team in terms of how they feel as a team. So they need to basically need feel like they're like one like living person, like one living being. And then there is also like the third pillar is a sense of all like common goal. So when people like share the same goal, and they need to understand actually what the goal is, and they all need to be clear in terms of like what exactly is incorporated into that goal. Because you can say, oh, we need to increase sales, for example, and everybody's going to understand it differently.
Of course, yeah. And but tell me this though, that it's something that I've always believed, that there is a fine balance that you need to have in terms of your team composition. Because if you have people that are too similar minded, then you just have, if everyone's in the room thinking the same sort of things, then what's the point of even having a discussion? So isn't there a bit of a like push and a pull, where some, you have these opposing points of views, and that really helps you move forward in a way?
Yeah, the thing is that we're not looking at what we're looking at is basically the things that need to be in place in order for people to be able to listen to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to agree to each other's ideas. So there is this element of discussion is still there. It's more about that they can hear each other, and they have this like shared sense of direction, I would say.
I see. Okay. That's a very, very interesting and very nuanced topic. Are there a lot of companies that are doing something in this field, or anything that's similar to what you're doing?
I mean, a lot of consulting companies are like employing all the different like frameworks to talk about teams and to make the teams perform better.
Right.
What we're trying to do is, in what we're working on right now, is is basically creating an AI technology on what we already have. So we want to collect as much data as possible from people, and then collect their responses on how they communicate with each other. So we'll have their profile description, and then the responses on how, if they're good together as a team. And then we want to put this all into an AI algorithm, so that later when people complete their profiles, the AI would be able to tell if they're going to be compatible without like any intervention from like a human being, and this would be much more accurate. Yeah.
All right. So basically then, so you're a consulting firm, but in the long run, you may be able to productize it when you bring in that AI capability.
Actually, we really don't want like to associate ourselves with consulting, because what we do is and the idea of the product is very different from what consultants really usually do, because consultants just usually provide I would say provide recommendations on how to like improve the existing teams, like the existing teamwork with the team that's like how to improve the teamwork in a team that's already existing.
Right.
What we're doing is we're saying you better need to replace this and this person, or put them into different, like another team, for the team to operate more efficiently. So in that sense, we're different. And also because from the very beginning, there was this idea to incorporate AI into this, and we're already gathering some data around it.
Yeah.
We're seeing ourselves more as an HR tech startup in an early stage, more than just a consultancy.
No, I understand that completely. But would it be fair to say that right now you basically what you're doing is you're offering a service, and then in the long run you want to productize with the help of AI and technology,
Yeah.
right? Right. All right. That's very cool. How do you think? So does your co-founder or you have any technical skills? Do you have a tech background?
We actually don't. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're being quite slow in putting together and like setting up this AI system. But we
Yeah.
have a technical team like outsourced, and they've been helping us with like to with basically all the technical things, like putting the survey together and like all the calculations that are going like right now in the system to like to create like the profile of the person, basically based on their answers.
Right.
But yeah, because we don't have a co-founder with technical skills, we're being quite slow. And I that's one of the things that I really hope to find like at Imperial, as long as I guess as long as I network with the right people, I'm going to be able to find someone. Yeah. Or at
Okay.
least like if not a co-founder, but maybe like someone who would get on the board with the right skills and like help us in that sense.
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's so much talent floating around at Imperial. You're bound to find someone. Have you checked out the enterprise lab yet?
I did, but I wouldn't say they were like super helpful for now. Maybe I didn't communicate my idea like that clearly, or they basically what they said is like the idea is very early stage, and I still need to do like market research on that, which I totally agree, because I haven't done any market research in the UK so far. I've been like mostly concentrating on Russia, and in Russia we don't really have any competitors, which I did like a very surface level research online on like whether we could have competitors in the UK, and I didn't find anything. But I'm planning to talk to some like HRs in big corporations to find out, and to probably like formulate my proposal like in a better way for the UK market.
All right.
But
Well,
I wouldn't say that they like connected me to some like people who could help me, or I know they're doing a lot of like accelerated challenges, like a
yeah.
couple of like per year. And they were just like, well, you can apply, but we can't really help you with the application, so just like put whatever like you think is relevant, and then we will choose you like or not choose you, because like the competition is high. So
Right.
uh, even though they are there to help for sure, I don't have the actually allocate enough resources on that. And I was like waiting for my because how you do it is you wait for a ideas like the idea surgery like service is
Yeah.
basically the first service that you should be getting from the enterprise lab. And it's like the spaces are very limited, and I was waiting for like 3 weeks to get it. So
Oh, how come? Isn't that you just go on their portal and book a session?
yeah, you book a session, but like
It's like all booked out.
there's like it's all booked out. Yeah, I went on the website to book a session, I think like on the like second week of September, and I booked it for like this week in October. I went there like on Monday.
Oh, I see. All right. Because I thought you just walk in and like have a idea surgery session.
No, no. I think their resources are very limited, and I'm not exactly sure what they're like doing with all the people employed there on it. I mean, like they're definitely doing something, but well, probably I didn't get a taste of it yet, just because I had just one idea session, like
Yeah.
idea surgery session. I'm gonna go to the sec, like I'm gonna work on all the recommendations that they gave me and probably go to another one like in a month or so.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to go too, so I'll check it out as well, and I'll let you know
Yeah,
how it goes.
you should, and like do it ASAP
Yeah,
because
that's what, because I thought it'd be like, you know, you want to go tomorrow, so just book a session a day before and just walk in. But
yeah.
apparently, it's not. And that's the thing I'm realizing, that Imperial is a very famous university, but at the same time, it's very small, and there are lots of people. Like, I was so happy that I booked the gym membership, and I was really happy going there for a month. And then last week, all the undergrads came in, and now it's like you
Oh
can't even
yeah,
get a slot now. It was so
and so
peaceful
many
without the
people.
undergrads.
Yeah, and so many people in the library, like it's impossible to find a spot. I really
Yeah,
loved it when there was just
I
us, the
yeah.
business school.
For some reason, I thought that this is how it was going to be all year round.
Yeah,
Mm.
and also because the enterprise lab is not just for us as a business school, the enterprise
Yeah,
lab is the entire university. So I guess and when I went to the idea session, there were like also some people from like in their undergrad who, because the idea surgery session is basically have like three people, like three different ideas presenting, and then like everybody gives suggestions, and then the host, basically the person from the
yeah,
enterprise lab, also gives like his or her suggestions on like what should you do as like next steps.
yeah.
So I like, and their idea was pretty cool. So I was like, it got me thinking that there are a lot of really smart and ambitious people in their undergrad too, here
You
at
get
Imperial.
to Did you get to hear a few ideas then? When
Hmm?
you Did you get to hear a few ideas?
Yeah, I got to hear like two other ideas. So it was
I Can you share them?
I'm not sure I'm like allowed to share what there was, but yeah, there were like people from the undergrad, and then there was one guy from the business school.
Okay, all right, all right. So, I do you think you're going to be, getting involved with the different types of venture funds or these sort of competitions that come up?
I definitely will apply. I will see how it goes because I actually have no idea about like how hard is like how tough is the competition.
Yeah.
Uh, from what I've heard, it like there are a lot of people applying there. So I mean, we'll see. But I definitely want to try it, and I think that's uh like that's going to be a great tester ground for me, like before I go to like the investors and actually pitch it to the investors.
So as of now, you and your co-founder, you guys have completely bootstrapped your business, right?
Yeah, we're not backed up by any funding.
Okay, great. But you are looking to get some funding in the near future.
I think so. So basically, when we were, because the Russian market is very different from the UK market, and basically
Yeah.
because the like VC like the VC in Russia basically doesn't exist because like it's a very bad climate for VC.
Yeah.
So
I
and
can
for
imagine.
basically any, like especially now, but even like for the past like 10 years, it's not
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Uh, so basically in Russia, all the startups, they are either bought or they're serving like one big client. So they're backed up by like a huge corporation that
Right.
invests in them in order to then use their service. So that's how things operate. You usually start your journey with like one huge client who like invests in you, and like then you do the services for them, and then you can probably go out and like seek other clients, but usually it also requires some kind of investment from them
Right.
into your startup to just like help like I forgot the word. um yeah, I forgot the word, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, basically for your startup to be able to function like in their enterprise, like there needs to be some technical like changes to, like usually because every corporation has their own like set of technical like platforms, and if you're integrating with them, there usually needs to be an investment first for you to like develop certain technical features to be able to integrate with their platforms.
Right.
So that's how they do it there, and that's what we've been trying to do for the past like 5-6 months.
Right.
It's really hard though, especially like considering what's going on right now. Like people are really not looking into entering into like any new projects.
Yeah.
But like we did some tester projects with big corporations, but yeah, what we heard is just that like they're not ready to take on such a huge project with us, because what we're proposing is like it's basically a different shift, like a complete shift of their recruitment system and of their like internal human resource management system, which like requires a lot of resources and like a lot of people to work with us like together, and like a big team in their like in their corporation to work with us. So they just said like they're not ready yet to like allocate that many resources, even though they're happy to do like small projects here and there for us to help them.
Okay.
So and that's why like most of our clients are like small corporate, like small companies, basically like 50 people, like 80 people, where we work directly with the CEO. So we're like pitching the idea to the CEO, and then we work directly with the CEO, for whom it's easier to do the team like changes, for whom it's like their decision. They're not going through all the processes of getting it approved by the HR, and then getting it approved by like the head of HR, and then the head of HR. And like it's like, yeah, you need to get so many approvals in a big corporation for this thing to like pass and be implemented. So going back to like the funding.
You're basically focusing a lot more on small businesses than in Russia. Would that be right to say?
We are focusing on small businesses as our main clients, but we are still looking at big businesses as like potential big clients. So we're still like reaching out to them. We're still very keen to do like small projects with them, but like hopefully things are gonna get better.
No, I understand. I mean, with the political climate and all the uncertainty, that a lot of businesses might not be looking to invest into these big projects, but it might be easier to go with the smaller ones. By any chance, would you know the kind of small businesses that you work with? What percentage of the owners would be like 50 plus, or like of the older generation, and how many of them
people of the older generation?
Yeah.
I would like 50 plus is still like it's a lot. Like usually like we work with companies whose like CEOs are in their 30s. So they're still very keen to try something new and to like implement new technologies. And because you need to have a specific like mindset in order to actually implement the new system that would completely change your human resource management processes inside your corporation. So first of all, you actually need to have this problem, and this problem needs to be like one of your major problems, like the like staffing and like hiring, firing workers, like forming teams. We actually not like all the CEOs we're working with are like in their 30s, and in terms of who's like in the companies, I don't think there are that many people like over like 50.
Oh, so
like, probably
I ask is because, well, and maybe you can tell me if you like the idea or not. So for our design thinking project, what my group is doing is I pitched the idea and they liked it. So we're working on baby boomer businesses. So people from the baby boomer generation, let's say they're 50, 55 plus, that are running their own small businesses. These may be traditional firms, typically might have less than 50 people or so, and really cash flow positive businesses, but not like in the millions of dollars range.
Right.
So the problem is that these people, they don't have a transition plan in place. So they've run these businesses in a very traditional way, how they used to be. And these may be, like local construction companies or landscaping businesses or whatnot. And they might not have, the backing of their friends or family who might be willing to take over from them. They don't know how to bring in external help. They don't know how to sell their business or whom to sell it to. And so,
Wow, whoa, that's a very interesting thing you found. Yeah.
yeah, and so we thought that why don't we, try and talk to these people and see if we can build a solution for them.
Right. But you probably I'm wow, that's a very interesting idea. I'm still like processing it. But so what's the question?
No. It's just how do
Oh,
you
it's just
yeah,
that you're
yeah,
doing, yeah. No, it's really cool. You should probably not only like go talk to them because they don't really know how to like solve the problem, but you should probably go talk to, like, if you can find people in that six of the same age, but who are actually like running like big businesses or like medium-sized businesses.
yeah,
Uh, because they will probably have similar like mindset, but they've taken some different actions. So you might
yeah.
like want to see
That's
what kind of actions they took.
Yes, that's a great point, because yesterday I talked to a guy who basically does M&A for small businesses. And he's a consultant. The thing is that what also personally intrigued me is that there's very little data around all of this. And so I've read a couple of Twitter threads and a few articles that talk about how there are millions of business owners in this age category that will be looking to exit, but they don't have a solution as of now. So there's this opportunity. The other thing was that when you try and see if there are any solutions in the market, there aren't any. And all I found were a few people that were offering this as a one-off consulting service. So this one guy I found who lives in the States, I found him on Twitter and reached out to him, and we had a phone call yesterday. And so he tells me the same thing that you just suggested. He says that um, there are a lot of small businesses that are not sellable, in the sense that you may not get a lot of real money out of it.
Mhm.
And he says that the thing is that what you could possibly focus on is okay, so if is a business sellable or not? No. So then what are the actions that you can take to make it sellable? And so a potential solution could be, in the next 5 years, what can you do to make that business valuable for a buyer? And then how do you find buyers? Or how do you set in a transition plan so that someone else can take over from the CEO, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it seems very interesting.
I guess for the CEOs who are like in their 50s, if they've never really done any like business, it's gonna be hard. They would need some people like on the team to do that
Yeah,
for them.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
not just like, I mean, not just like consulting a consultant, but actually having people on the team who could like implement the suggestions.
yeah, exactly. So he said one of the biggest things is that these small businesses, they don't have any delegation. It's just the founder and a few staff that are running, or maybe just the guy and two, three other people. So he
Mhm.
says that, the importance is, if you remove the person from the company, then how well does it run? That's one of the biggest things that matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I can relate to that so much because a lot of the CEOs we're working with, they are doing a lot like themselves. They're very involved in the business, and one of the big like questions from them, like what they just wanted to like not like get out of the business, but be less involved in that particular business in order to be able to build like another business
Yeah,
or like scale or like transition to like do something else basically,
yeah,
because they've been doing it for like 10 years, 15 years.
yeah,
And they're tired, of course.
yeah,
The CEOs who are doing everything by themselves, they look super tired. Like it's it's a much harder job than I think most of the corporate jobs.
being
But the
CEO,
thing is that
of course.
I think they make it hard because they're very bad at selecting the people to work with, like they are very bad at forming the teams. And I mean, it's comes down to what we're doing, but not just to what we're doing, is sometimes just knowing what kind of people they need, like if they need like a salesperson, or if they need like another salesperson, or if they need like a better accountant, or if they need,
Yeah.
sometimes they're just so lost even in terms of the functionality that they need help on.
Yeah.
uh yeah, like people who do their own businesses, like I really admire them. They're super brave to go out and just do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times the CEOs, especially if like it's a small company, like we've been working with a company who has just like 10 employees, and the owner like was so involved in like every step of the way, which is probably understandable for a company of 10, but he still could like remove at least like 30-40% of what he was doing by just selecting the right people
Yeah.
like to do the job.
And more than that, sometimes it's all about just setting in a few processes. Because I'll tell you what happened with me. And I felt so stupid after coming to London, because the startup I was working at, um, so I was essentially the CEO for the last 2 years before coming here. And I was involved, like I was one of those people that you just spoke about. I was involved in everything, and I was doing everything, and I was burning the candle at both ends. And then I come here, and then for the last, I would say 6 months, 3 months before I joined Imperial, I had been working on transitioning. So I'd been working on, setting in processes that other people that were not doing my responsibilities could start taking over a little bit, and sort of dividing it within the team. And that process really taught me that once I forced myself to say that, all right, I'm not going to do all of this work. And so what is the alternative? That, the company runs smoothly now. And I have just been out of it for about a month. And of course, there are problems that come up. So then we troubleshoot virtually. But I was so surprised seeing just how, smooth everything was. And then I started kicking myself. I could have done this a year ago, and I could have been relaxing for the past year. Where now I'm like, it was only when there was no alternative that, this thing came about. It should have come about much earlier. So I totally agree with what you say, that, people just tend to be too in the business and not think about the business at a macro level, which
Mhm.
causes these issues, right?
That's very smart. Like outsourcing is super important, and I think getting involved in every problem that that arises. Of course, when it's your business, you want to get involved because like it's your money, like
Yeah.
and it's like your little baby, like your business, of course. But you should just like take a step back, think about whether this thing happens regularly, and if it like this problem arises regularly, and if it does, you should like look for a long-term solution, and not just like doing the same work all over, like all over and over again. And there are a lot of I what I've also seen, that there are a lot of founders who are kind of like solo founders. They don't have a co-founder who shares the same amount of responsibility with them. So they maybe have the team, which like which are they may be like cold co-founders, but if your co-founder doesn't share like 50% of the responsibility, then it's not really a co-founder. You're still like in charge of everything,
Yeah.
and that is very hard mentally. Like I don't think I would be able to, for example, like do the business myself, just because like it's so much pressure. Like you can't be 24/7 ready to like answer clients, and accepting like incoming calls. And sometimes you just want to relax.
Yeah.
And when there's somebody else who can take on that work, when you have different things like to do, which are like also important. And even like sometimes you're just like sick. Like this summer I caught COVID, and I was basically like non-existent for a week. I had like a super high fever, and I was just like lying down trying not to die. And
Was this your first time catching
it
COVID?
was my first time catching
After two
COVID
years?
after
Really?
2 years.
All
Yeah.
right. You did a good job then.
Yeah,
Uh,
I thought I
Me
would.
too.
I honestly,
I got
yeah.
COVID after I got COVID this April for the first time, and it was tough. It
Um,
took me like a month. So if you say it took you a week, then you did much better.
yeah, but I mean, then I still had like I was taking antibiotics after that because I had like a bacterial like infection
Yeah.
also like with the COVID. So it was yeah, it was tough. Like in general, it took me like 3 weeks to recover, but the
Yeah.
first week was like really tough. I really couldn't like get anything done, and it was a basically, and we needed to like do some projects for the client. So after I realized how lucky I am to just be able to put this work onto someone else and,
Yeah.
you know, take my time to, yeah,
Yeah. That's what great teamwork is about. And so nice that you. So how did you guys? How did you meet your co-founder?
oh, we know each other for like a long period of time already. We're like together since like childhood.
Okay, so she's your childhood friend then. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's great. And so, what kind of background do you have? I never even asked you what you studied before this.
So I mean I did like my all my background is in business and management. So I
All right.
went to I did my undergrad at King's College London,
Yeah.
and my course was called International Management.
Right.
So I did like 3 years in London and I did 1 year abroad. I went to the University of Pennsylvania for my year abroad, Wharton
Okay.
School, which was really amazing. I loved
Yeah.
it.
I
It
have a
was
lot of friends that are doing their MBA at Wharton right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
They speak very
worth
highly about it.
it.
For
Yeah.
some reason, they're always partying out there. Like, what's
Oh
up?
yeah, there's a lot of partying. It's like
Just
work hard,
basically,
play hard culture. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much they work. At least I don't see.
Apparently, I wasn't talking to that many MBAs because they have their like own little circle
Yeah.
and they're not
Yeah.
really talking to undergrads. I
Yeah.
mean, because like we have a lot of we still have like we had a lot of
Well, I
undergrads.
mean,
This is a business
can you
school.
blame them? I mean, we just shat on undergrads like at the start of the show. So
No, I mean like I yeah, like there's just a lot of them. That's
I know.
the problem of quantity, not quality, because like the quality of undergrads at Imperial, I guess it's like amazing. And
Yeah.
at Wharton, yeah, so basically that's what I heard from a lot of people who did talk to the MBAs is that they're basically just partying. It's just like 2 years of gap year for them mostly because
Yeah.
once you're at Wharton, you can apply to all these jobs and like you basically you if you want to transition into consulting or into like investment banking or whatever, I think we have like less than a minute, so we'll
Yeah.
like read into the room
So
when it
yeah, so
and
hang on. Let
we'll
me just send you another link and
another link.
join
Okay.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we were on talking about Wharton.
How it's 2 years of gap. I know because I know a guy who goes there, who graduated from Wharton, and I've been basically for the last 2 years seeing him travel all around the world with his cohort for some reason. I don't know why. They just like one day he is in Colombia, the next day he's in Israel. I don't know what's going on with his
Oh,
life.
so he graduated already and still like is
No. It
traveling.
was during when he was studying
Oh,
the last two
oh yeah,
years.
yeah.
He like
They
traveling
do
his
it
life.
like all the time. That's yeah, they do it all the time, and it's yeah, it's much more relaxed than in the undergrad. Like for me personally, Wharton was quite academically challenging compared
Yeah.
to King's, especially. I mean, I don't want to say anything like bad about King's because King's is still like a good university, and I still have learned a lot from there and like met amazing people.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, like Wharton is like number one like okay, not number one, but definitely like top three business schools in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the level like, you kind of
Yeah.
get like the level of the education, like
Of
what
course.
is the good education.
It's the Ivy League, right? I mean, there's no
Yeah.
I mean, There is a difference, and the King's is a great
It
college.
is
People
like
know
a
the brand,
proper,
but
it is like a proper business school. So it's not just like a
yeah,
university.
yeah,
It's like business school, and we did
yeah.
a lot of case studies, and it was very practical. It like they, I mean, it's kind of like Imperial. Like Imperial is also very practical and very, you know, real world oriented in terms of what
Right.
we're doing. Uh, but I think there it was even more. And there's this particular culture at UPenn, which is like very corporate. Like if you look at Imperial, Imperial is like really entrepreneurial
Yeah,
in all of the aspects. I think even for people who do like life sciences, who are like in their undergrad,
yeah.
it's they still push to pursue something entrepreneurial. And
Okay.
on the opposite side, Wharton and like UPenn in general is really corporate. And even though like we had like entrepreneurship club, we had some like pitch competitions we could go to and like pitch something, it was so like early stage and so like insignificant, and people who were doing it were not willing to pursue this after they graduate. So they were just like doing it as like for fun during their studies, but like they all knew that it's not going to be something that they're going to be doing after they graduate. And there's this super strong mentality at Wharton that you need to go to like consulting or investment banking, and everybody's fighting for these jobs. And it's a very strong culture in that sense.
I mean, it makes me more glad that I came to Imperial.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, something like Stanford is completely different. Like Stanford is very entrepreneurial, and like it pushes people to create something.
Yeah.
And I guess like almost 50% of Stanford MBAs continue to pursue like their entrepreneurial ventures after they graduate. So Wharton is like not at all like this.
Yeah. I remember I had a manager back in Bain who used to, I think he went to Wharton or one of the Ivy League school. I think he went to Wharton. And then he was extremely proud that he went to Wharton. He did like a 1 year course. He was like one of the topmost managers. And so
Mhm.
every time you would sit with him, he would find a way to slip in the fact that he had been to Wharton. And so, the conversation would start like, what, during my time at Wharton, this is what we used to do. And that,
I feel like I'm the same now.
no, you're
But
not.
I do
Definitely
that.
not. You say, listen, that's the thing. You are not a middle-aged Indian man who likes to brag about his education. That is a different level of enthusiasm and I would say swag that they bring to the
Yeah.
conversation.
But I mean, I'm not when I'm talking about Wharton, I'm definitely not bragging. It's just it was such a changing year for me in terms of like it changed my mentality completely and like my perception of the world, and it made me actually rethink what I want to do in my life. Uh and yeah,
Yeah.
it
How come?
was
How come? Like what did it do for you?
I think because I was in such a corporate culture, it made me think that probably I need to be in that corporate culture, and that's something for me. Even though I never really liked any corporate things, like I've done a couple of internships, and I wasn't a big fan of like I mean internships with like corporations, like in big companies, and I
Yeah.
didn't really like that. So but this culture, it just crashes you, I guess. And everybody was saying that. Like I'm not the only one who says that. Whatever you like, it doesn't matter what kind of personality you are. When you come to Wharton after a year, you're like consulting investment banking. Like you become so focused on
They're
these
all
things and
consulting and IB bankers, as people say in London.
so focused on these signs of prestige, uh and like on getting a good internship and then getting a like a return offer. um
I feel like you just went to college with a bunch of like finance bros,
yeah.
finance and consulting bros. I
Yeah, like
got that.
I mean, like Wharton is a school of finance. First of all, like it's
Oh, yeah.
called the Wharton School of Finance.
I
So
didn't know
of
that.
course,
Okay. All right. So,
I mean,
so
I'm not sure how official is that name, but like everybody says, I mean, it's a Wharton School of Finance. So I thought that that's something I wanted to do, and I actually basically I went to Wharton during the COVID year, like the
Right,
year that COVID started. So I did like
right.
my first semester was okay, and then like a couple of my second semester, and then in March it happened. So I like came back to Moscow, and I finished like the 2 more months online. Actually, they did very like good online transitioning. Like my friends from King's said that the transitioning was terrible, and for us it was quite okay.
Okay.
Um, and then there was a COVID year that I spent in Moscow doing like finishing my final year of bachelor's online,
Right.
and I was thinking like whether I should apply to masters and like what kind of masters I wanted to do, because I was sure that I wanted to like continue my masters in the UK. And I was looking at finance masters actually, and I even like applied to a couple of them, and in the end I ended up not taking, like I got an offer from Warwick, and I decided not to go to Warwick doing like to do finance, because at this time I've already like started thinking about my business, and I put
Yeah.
together my like I found the IT team that I like. It was not the first IT team I worked with, so I went
Right.
through like a couple of different teams to just see how we like we started to do the project with one team, and then we couldn't really get along, so we like dropped it, and I was looking
Yeah.
for like other guys. So by the summer of my final year I kind of like put everything together, and I was like, I don't want to, I like honestly I was honest with myself, I'm like, I don't want to do finance. Let's be honest, like I don't want to do
Yeah.
finance. So I didn't accept
You
the
you're way
offer
too you have too much of positive spirit to do finance.
to
I feel
finance.
like if you do finance, you sort of end up with a dead soul inside. Don't you? That's what everyone
Um,
in finance says, that like I
I
met this guy at some Imperial networking event the other day.
uh-huh.
And I just met him like 2 seconds ago, and he introduces himself. Hi, well, I forget his name, but he was like, hi, and I work in finance. So I said, tell me seriously, how happy are you? He says, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm very fine. I said, yeah, but you said it thrice in a not very convincing way. I said, just tell me, really. He says, look, on the first of every month, I'm very happy because I'm rich. By the 15th, I want to kill myself. By the 30th, I'm ready to cock the gun. And then on the first, I get the salary again, so I'm happy. And he says the cycle repeats.
Yeah, I guess that's what a lot of people are doing. But actually, when I was at Wharton, I've seen some like people who are, I wouldn't say like passionate in finance, but they like this lifestyle. Like I had a couple of friends who actually like this lifestyle, and it's completely okay for them. And they're like, okay, like I'm gonna work 12 hours a day, it's fine, but I'm getting like my salary, but because like it's important for me, because I want to sustain like this lifestyle, this like sustaining this lifestyle is more important for me than like anything else. So I
Where do you
and
stand on
like
that?
and I
Where,
want to be, and I want to become like the manager in the investment banking firm or whatever. So
that just sounds like I would die working like that. Like I would be so depressed working like that. But where do you stand on money versus having a good life? Um do you feel like you need to sort of chase money in a certain sense? Because like that's what a lot of people, at least in their early career, tend to do, that get the prestigious job that gives you the nice title and the nice office and a big fat salary, or
mhm.
versus doing something it's a bit risky, like going to work in a startup. Or so where do you sort of, how big a role does money play in your life?
I mean, money is definitely important. Like we can't deny that, right? Like we want to sustain a good level of living.
Yeah.
However, um, what I found out is that like if you don't like the job you're doing, no amount of money is going to make you happy, and that is
Yeah.
so true. And when
Okay.
I when I was in my first year of uni, I was working part-time like in a sales job, and I
Right.
really hate sales. I'm definitely not a salesperson,
Okay.
and well, it took me a year to realize that, but like it was a good lesson. Even though
How
I
did you
like,
like? What were you doing when you worked in sales? Was
I
it
mean,
like
I
calling
was
people up?
no, I was like I was like in direct. I was in a chocolate shop. I was like selling chocolate,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah. So basically, like a sales associate, I needed to learn about all the chocolates that they have, and then I was consulting people on like what chocolate should they buy, and I was like doing whatever. I was like putting the chocolate out there, like from the stock room, and I was and we were selling. We're selling chocolate covered strawberries. So I
Yeah.
was basically like dipping like some like two hours of my day I was dipping the strawberries into hot chocolate and like putting them so that
Handing
to
them
be
over to the customers
huh?
and then handing them over to the
Yeah,
customers.
yeah, yeah. So
You know,
it was like a
that
very
sounds weirdly romantic.
I mean, I think it was like the company was amazing, and the people I was working with and like my manager, they were like the nicest people, really. I think I was really lucky with the place like I was working at, but I'm just not a salesperson, and it drains me a lot to stand there for like eight, and I was working 2 days a week, like mostly basically weekends, and that's also what I later learned, that you should not work on weekends, because on weekends you need to rest, and like you need to have at least one day like a normal weekend day where you can rest. So basically, uh, because the job was definitely not for me, and I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert, and it was really hard like just emotionally for me to handle like standing and talking to people for 8 hours straight, and then like the next day repeat the same thing. And because I was in my first year, I was like also partying on the weekends, so I was like partying, then like going to the job the next day, and then partying again and doing like another day of work. That was exhausting.
Sounds exhausting.
Yeah. So what I realized is that even though I felt really independent, I felt amazing because it was like my first real money that I didn't need to ask my parents for, that
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
having like just for myself. Uh, and I could like buy a lot of things. And so like for an 18-year-old me, it was a lot, even though it was just like a like normal sales people
Right.
salary.
Right.
Um, but because the job was not for me, I I stopped enjoying it after like 2 months, I think. So it became so exhausting that I think I started like slipping on my classes. Like stopped going to like my classes on Monday, for example, because I was too exhausted from like the Saturday and Sunday of working, and I was just like whatever, I can't really get out of bed. Um, so and no like the things that I was able to buy with this money would not make me any happier, because I was just like tired and I didn't know where I was like going with this.
Exactly.
So I think it was a very harsh lesson, but I'm glad I've learned it like early in the way, that no money can make you happy, really.
Yeah.
Like if you're not happy, I mean, you definitely need to have an income, that is for sure. And I think if you're a good entrepreneur, if you're like successful, it shouldn't be like that hard. I have a couple of friends at Penn who are like, yeah, at Penn, because they're smart and they're good entrepreneurs. They are quite successful in what they're doing, and they're not even like pursuing a corporate career. But I mean, there's a very, very small percentage of people from Penn who go to do entrepreneurship, but if they do, they're quite successful in that.
From
Uh,
from from where did you say?
from UPenn,
From UPenn. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess, um, yeah, responding to the question, money is important, definitely. So it is definitely a factor, but it is like the work-life balance not even the work-life balance, but more like the purpose of what you're doing is
Yeah,
much more important.
absolutely. I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I'm ready to take the mentality I had was when I left Pain was that if I can just, sustain my overheads, if I can have a nice place for myself, eat well, have some nice clothes, what else do I need? Right? I just need something that can get me, that can cover my overheads, which I realized once I did the calculation was not that much. And if I could just do that, like live at a minimalistic level for the next 3 to 4 years and try and learn some real skills that are going to be useful rather than just doing data entry. I said,
Yeah.
I mean, what more can you want if you really want to learn, right? And I mean, there's always going to be time for making money, but you're only young once. You can only take these sort of risks once and sort of take a step back in your life to take a few steps forward, in a sense.
Yeah, I think everybody's just very different. Like, I don't want to talk anything. I don't want to say anything bad about the people who choose to like work 12 hours a day in investment banking to get a good salary because that's what they want. It's just that the choice, like any choice you're making, should be conscious. Like, you should really understand yourself and know why you're doing that and where you're going with that. And if you're happy like this, then it's great. Like, I have friends in investment banking who are like, I mean they say that, but I guess it's probably true. They're like staying, like, that they're happy with what they have, they're happy with the salary, and they're happy with the career prospects that it offers them. So
Good for them.
good
But
for them, good
yeah,
for them. Like, I probably wouldn't be able to afford the things that they are able to afford once I graduate. The
yeah, and that's
but
fine.
but for me, like, my my sanity and like good sleep and some kind of purpose in what
Yeah,
I do is more important. So
exactly. I feel the
it's
same way. I mean, I can do without the Lamborghini, to be honest. I can like go in a normal sedan, but or I can take the tube. But as long as I'm waking up happy on a Monday, not going to work, not going crazy on a Friday, that not looking
Mhm.
forward to the weekends. I mean, I want to love what I do every day. And that's why most of us that's why we do entrepreneurship, right? We want to, I mean, and let's be honest, you're probably working longer hours than them if you're running a business. I
uh,
mean, I've seen how hard
yeah,
we work.
sometimes,
And so if
yeah.
that's any testament to how hard a person has to work to build their business.
You know,
Uh,
sometimes I'm just thinking like when I'm doing all the like the slides, the PowerPoint slides for clients,
yeah,
I'm sitting there thinking like I could have been earning money for that if I was like in a consulting firm. I'm doing exactly what an analyst would do, but
yeah,
I'm doing it for free for my business. And the thing is that I think I feel so much happier doing even like the same things for free for my business than I would have if I was, counting every hour that I get paid, and I would be like, okay, like I get paid, and I know, like 30 pounds per hour, 50 pounds per hour. Like it
exactly.
just
Yeah, it's you're giving up a bit of money now to earn a lot in the future. Let's look at it that way, right? Are
yeah.
you able to speak about the kind of revenue that your company is at, or the kind of like how many clients you guys have right now, what your plans for growth are, what you think like it's going to be in a year or so, or 2 years from now?
We act like, because we start it's a funny thing because since we started operating like 7-8 months ago, I like in Russia it works in a way that you incorporate the company, and
Yeah,
it's not like linked to your like bank account. Like, you need to finish the financial, I mean, we decided that we're going to be finishing, like we're going to finish the financial year until we distribute like the profit. We're not profitable yet, actually.
right.
we like with But we're getting, like, we're very close. I think by the end of the year, like by maybe the next February, if everything goes right, we're gonna be profit, like the way we're I think like January, February, I'm thinking,
Right.
we're gonna reach the break-even point. So I couldn't even like see the money in my bank account yet, because like all the money is in like the company's bank account. So even if I like wanted to take some money out, I can't really do that. I need to wait till the end of the financial year.
I understand that.
Yeah. So it's like a couple of thousands like dollars. It's not that much
Okay.
in the revenue. Uh like we have now like 4 clients, small companies that we're working with,
Right.
and we've been doing test projects with 5 big like corporations, but they were like free projects, so
Right.
we didn't get any money for that.
Right. 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 Okay. And so, what do you think, like over the next year or so, where do you think you'll be able to get the business to?
Well, ideally, I would like to transfer the business to the UK, because
Right.
I'm thinking about staying here.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the political climate that's going right now, I don't think it's a really good idea, like coming back to Russia. Even though I was the person who was like very keen on developing it in Russia, because I really like Moscow and I love living in Moscow, and I was living there for the past 2 years, and it's an amazing city, and I and like the people, and just like, I mean, the cost of living is also not that high as in London,
Yeah.
for sure, so it's also good. And like the I don't know, like the food, the service sector, uh everything is in terms of like the level of life that
Yeah.
I could have had in Moscow would be like much higher than here.
Right.
And because I really like the city, I was like, before the war started, I actually was thinking that I could probably do the business like here and there, so like in the UK, but also in Russia. Now we're not that sure how it's going to go, like
Yeah.
it's really very uncertain. So what I want to do is, yeah, like bring like either this business to Russia if I find that there is demand here for this kind of product, and
Yeah.
if I figure out how to actually transform it into like a genuine HR tech thing
Right.
with use of AI, because that's my vision, and that's what I'm trying to create, basically. Uh, and Yeah, and if not, I hope to find some other solution, like some other ideas while I'm at Imperial, and
Okay.
like continue working on that. Uh, because yeah, as I said, I think I see myself as an entrepreneur, and I probably would be only happy if I am an entrepreneur. I'm not sure yet, but I like, since I started working on the business,
Yeah.
I I feel happy. Like I wouldn't say like I feel happy every day. Of course, there are like highs and lows, but I have this sense of purpose
Yeah.
that I didn't have before. And for me, really it's rare, and it's a good indication that I'm on the right track, that I have this northern star that guides me.
I completely agree with you. And I would say, yeah, there's a very low probability of you going back to a job, because once you once you go the startup way, or once you become your own boss, it's very hard to even think of going back, right? Because you just don't get, I mean, personally, the thing I enjoy the most is, I mean, I could have a boss over me. I would still be okay with that. But the thing that I'm not okay with is just not learning every single day and not doing something new and not, expanding the mind every single day. And eventually every job will sort of pigeonhole you into a routine where you're just doing the same stuff repetitively. And whether that happens a year, 2 years, 5 years from the day you join, that may vary, but then that's what ends up happening, right?
Mhm.
Or you get promoted and then you just do the same thing but with a bunch of people under you. And so
Yeah.
And
How
so
is it for you? Do you need to feel, the sense of being connected to the product that you're like selling in your business? Because for me, this is very important. Like that's probably why
yeah,
I can stand a corporate job,
yeah,
because I like my product is my baby. I'm like
yeah,
100% responsible for it.
yeah,
And I know that I'm the only one who's responsible. I mean, I have a co-founder, like she's also responsible, but like I'm represent, like this product is a reflection of me. Like if this product is not out there, like what am I here for? Like what is
yeah,
my uh what do I bring to this world?
yeah,
Like I, and what I bring to this world, I want it to be a, like a finished product, like
yeah.
not just you know, like a set of skills kind of.
Yeah. No, no, no. I feel the same way because if you're look, so I started in sales and marketing pretty much. And
Mhm.
so the first thing that I realized is that unless you know everything about the product, like if you can, like, unless you can just break it apart and explain every single tiny detail, then you're not really going to be able to sell it. And so how you talk about building a product from scratch, you're just like a natural salesman now, because and you probably don't even have to think about, how exhausting it is talking about sales and oh my god, I'm not really a natural salesman, because it's like breathing. It's like you're talking about something that's a natural extension of you. And so you're
It's still the
automatically,
hardest thing. Honestly, sales is still the hardest thing that I need to do
yeah,
in, because I really enjoy, yeah, like doing presentations, like calculating. I really enjoy thinking about the product and how to like improve the customer journey.
yeah,
How they, like I love it so much. But when it comes to sales and like talking to the clients, I'm still not really good at it, and I
yeah,
still try to do like as like few, I mean, I can, yeah, so like my co-founder is doing the business development much more than I do,
right.
so she's better at this. So that's what we've been talking about. Like I try to outsource the things that I'm not good
Yeah,
at to other
yeah.
people.
No, no. I mean, within the two of you, as long as you guys are covering the entire 100% of the things that, the management or the founders need to be doing, I guess that's completely fine. I mean, you're not supposed to be doing everything if you don't really like to. That's why you're an entrepreneur, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, that comes links back to what we've been talking about, that a lot of entrepreneurs do a lot of things like by themselves, like they're
Yeah,
not outsourcing it enough. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That I agree with you. But yeah, what to regarding what you asked, yes, I definitely feel there is so much to be done if you're not linked to the product, if you don't understand it intimately, and it's just very hard to do anything with it. Like for me, coming from, like, when I started with sales and marketing, I just spent like 3 months studying our products because we would sell to the government in India. And and then the journey started of how to be a good salesman and how to market the product and all the intricacies around that and business development and whatnot. But that was really the first thing. I personally really enjoy building products. I've done quite a fair bit, not like in the domain that you have, but it really is a very sort of intellectually stimulating journey. I find it to be much more intellectually stimulating than most other things that you can do in a company.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. I love building the products, and I was when I was looking at like corporate jobs, I was thinking about probably, like applying for like a product manager or like a product owner uh kind of roles. And I'm not sure if it's definitely not going to be the same as like working on your own startup, but I think if I try to isolate like one functionality that I enjoy the most, there's going to be like product develop, like, yeah, like I mean project development from the business side of it, because like I'm not an IT specialist.
Yeah. I understand that. Tell me something, and let's we've spoken quite a fairly long
Yeah, it
time.
was like
We're
more
in
than
our
an hour.
13 minutes. I just realized that we've been speaking for like we started at 2, it's 3:15 now.
Yeah.
Out of 3 minutes. Do you want to go on for just a little bit more? Or are you
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
rush?
like 5-10 minutes, let's do that.
Yeah, all right. So tell us about your. So I know that you have a YouTube channel. That will
Oh
be
gosh.
Why
Yeah.
don't we talk about that? What so you showed me a little clip the other day where you're basically starring in your own music video. Yeah.
Uh, that's something. I mean, it's it, it's been like 3 years since I kind of like stopped doing it really. Basically, my entire life has been connected to music. I went to music school when I was a kid, when like back in Russia, and I did like it's in Russia. It's like a system where you do like 7 years of music school, and then you get like a diploma that you're like whatever. I basically I did the piano and I did vocals,
All right.
um, but I just love music. It's something that makes me happy, and it's I think performing and creating music is something that helps me show my personality through music. I think I do a lot of connections between what I do in terms of music and what I do in terms of a startup, because I am the owner of the final product, and
Yeah.
I feel really connected to the final product that I'm delivering,
Yeah.
be it my startup or be it like a music video.
Yeah.
Um,
And so
so
new product ideas just come to you while you're composing your next symphony. Is that how it works?
maybe, who knows? But I mean, I really liked it, but I think I'm just like not like too old, but I've found some more interesting things than music. When I was a very young kid, I thought I could pursue music as a career, but then I realized that I need something more intellectually stimulating, like a business, because music is great, but um I wouldn't say it's like that intellectually stimulating. uh
Yeah.
I I don't know, it was, so I basically kept doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I started learning the guitar when I came to uni, like on my first and second year of uni. I
Oh,
went to
okay.
guitar lessons.
All right.
So I play the guitar also.
Nice.
And in my second year, I started creating music videos, because I was like, why not? And I was recording some covers even before that, but it was just like covers when I just like stand and sing.
Yeah.
And I wanted something more fun, so yeah, like my first clip was a rap in Russian, when I was. Yeah, you can have a look at the video. I was like in like in very short shorts, and with a shirt that's kind of like wrapped around the belly. So I was like,
Okay.
trying to be really sexy there.
All right. All right. All right.
um, and it was like a
For some
Russian
reason, there are no
rap.
sexy rappers. Like, why every rapper is like dressed in clothes that are 5 sizes too big for them. I think
Yeah,
that,
no,
I
it was
think
like
there's
a
a
Russian. It was
market
no, it
opportunity
was
there.
yeah, it was like a Russian female rapper. So like female rappers, they try to portray themselves as like super sexy. So
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to imitate.
All right.
And after I really like that. I just got like my friend who had no previous experience of filming anything, and I was just like stand here, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this, and it was super fun. It was like super fun. I think I enjoy, but I I'm so enthusiastic talking about it is because I enjoy the process so much. I enjoy like every step of the process, from recording the sounds, like the singing, to like filming the video, to editing the video after that. Is just it's amazing. It's really amazing.
It is.
So
Yeah. I used to do a bit of filmmaking when I was in school and college, and so I really enjoyed that. It's very fun.
what did you film?
I just used to write short films, and I'd shoot it with friends. I used to do plays a lot. I used to do a lot of theater. So I used to write plays, and we would put them up in school
Oh,
and in
wow.
college. Yeah. So it was a
That's
lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Maybe I can help you with your next music video.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I kind of stopped doing them because felt So yeah, so like during my second year of uni, I did, I think, like 4 music videos, which was kind of a lot. I felt like. So, and I also was performing at open mics that year. So it
Oh,
was,
by the way, we are going to an open mic at some point in the
we
next week.
should, we
All
should,
right.
we should definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I didn't find the Guitar Society on the clubs fair. I was looking for them. I couldn't
I
find
don't
them.
think you're going to attend a meeting though, Sasha. You don't have the time. I think you,
No,
if you have
I'm just.
time, I think you should rather come to class.
Nah, I'm not attending because I'm not interested that much. But if
All right. Well,
econ,
I guess you
honestly,
could come and teach the next OB class. I would say.
okay, okay, I think next week class is going to be the revision one or not?
I don't know. I'm
Is
not
it going to
sure.
be the final one? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But basically, I'm saying you could probably take over from Sankalp then, based on whatever you.
I have like a presentation. This summer I was giving like a speech back in Russia at the it's like an entrepreneurs club basically, where people, just like all the different entrepreneurs, they like meet each other and they go to some kind of like events, and they organize speakers, and they bring like speakers in to talk
Yeah.
about different things. So they like brought me, and I was talking about the importance of being a team and how to better like put the teams together. And I was basically talking about the research that I've done on what makes a good team, what I was like telling you, the psychological safety,
Yeah.
the understanding of like the similar like the shared identity, yeah,
Yeah.
this kind of
All right. Cool.
yeah. I forgot what we talked about. Yeah, about the music, about
Talking about music. Tell me are you active on social media anywhere?
uh I mean, I have a YouTube channel, but it's
All right.
really kind
So
of dead.
I will link to it so that you can get a few more followers. I mean, at this point, I think you might just get one
Aw,
as
that'd
me,
be
but
cool. Yeah,
maybe
maybe I will like
if
post
this
something.
video goes on.
I even have like I was trying myself in different like areas. So when I went to Wharton, I did like an interview with my 2 other Russian friends. Like, unfortunately, the video is in Russian, but we talked about the differences in the school education system, like the school and university education system in the UK, in the
Sasha,
US.
hang on, sorry.
Yeah,
Just
another
30
link.
seconds. Let me send you another link and then we can
Yeah,
finish this, wrap this up
yeah,
then. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. What were you saying? See, these are the issues that a guy faces when he's trying to launch something. I'm not.
You can buy like a the premium version. It's like £20 per month, 15 even, I think.
Yeah, but Sasha, I'm cheap.
Yeah, we should have hosted that in my business account. I have a subscription
Oh,
for
you do?
unlimited time. Yeah.
All right. I will mooch off
I'm
on
like
that
speaking
for
with
that.
clients. It's like a very badly regarded from clients if you're like asking them to go reconnect every 40 minutes.
All
It's
right.
not looking
I feel
professional.
like this has suddenly become the roast of Shubhankar.
No, but it's like £15, I think, per month. It's like 2 lunches.
All right, I get it. I'll buy the subscription. Yeah, cool. So people can find you on YouTube then. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, people
Are you
can find me on YouTube, and maybe I will post something, or maybe
cool?
not.
Cool.
But I have my Facebook page, even though I'm not that active in there. I try mm, to actually do my social media properly at some point, but I think because I'm like more of an introvert, it's really tough for me. So I can't keep thinking about the content that I'm like need to create
Yeah.
to, engage people, especially like I tried to, like, 2 years ago, I tried to do my Instagram in a way as like an like an influencer would do that with all my like 300 subscribers, which are like my friends basically. But it's tough because you need, I'm a very honest person. Like if I'm sharing something, I'm like super genuine, and
I
sometimes
know. I just felt the brunt of your honesty.
well, there are like pros and cons to that.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
but
Anyway, sorry,
that's
you
like
were going.
everybody say, like when I even in my business, because like I'm super honest even with like clients, and sometimes I'm trying not to be like disrespectful or anything, but
Yeah.
I just, if I think something, I can't keep it to myself. Like if I like, I need to say it.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're doing a social media as an influencer, either you're okay with being honest like 100% of the times with the
Yeah.
people that are following you, and I just didn't want to share sometimes like some of the areas of like my life, and if I was going through like tough periods, I couldn't be just, you know, like funny and cheering. So I yeah, I can't like sustain it at a good level of like producing content, so I was just like, whatever, I'll give it up. And
Yeah.
I will do one music video per year. That looks more like me.
Of course. I mean, after J-Lo, I think the world waits for Sasha's new drop. It's the yearly event.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have created a lot of hype. I mean, I'm excited for the next video. I think I might just put a little clip of your video in the final edit.
Yeah, for sure. But the one that I showed you, I think I'm the most like proud of it. It was like my final video, and I was so proud of it. It was actually, if you want a bit of probably for the people who are going to be like listening to it, it was a like a breakup song for me. So I
Oh,
like had a very terrible breakup at the time,
oh
and
no.
the song is basically like, the song is saying like, oh, how I can't like get over like a guy, and I'm
Yeah,
like dancing there like half naked on the
yeah.
streets of London. So it was my way of like gaining power after the breakup, I guess.
All right. All right, you
So
go. And so, is it fair to assume that you have not had a major life event since then because there's no uh, video after that? Because I'm
not
getting like
that
Taylor Swift vibes right now that, something good happens, something bad happens, and then you make a song about it.
yeah, I mean, nothing, I think nothing really tragic happened to me since then. So that's probably why I don't have that much content. I've
All
been
right.
pretty stable.
All right. All right, Sasha. You just called all content influencers just mentally unstable, I guess.
No.
All right, cool. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It was a great chat. And yeah,
Yeah.
good luck with the uh, like whatever interviews are coming up for you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I mean,
I will
you were the
I will
very second.
definitely follow, like, and comment.
Yeah, for
With
sure.
my honesty, like I'm gonna give you my honest opinion.
Hey, Shubhankar. I really liked the guest, but your questions were kind of shit.
No, I really liked how you structured the conversation.
All right,
I
thanks.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. And let's
Yeah.
call it a wrap today. We're
Yeah.
just at 1 hour 30 minutes. So I think this was the longest episode so far. I've just shot two, but then it's a nice way to end the episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and
All
have a
right.
great
Have a good day,
Friday
and
night.
I'll see you on Monday.
Monday.
Class.
I'm
Will
coming
I
on
see
Monday.
you in class?
Yeah. No, now it's like chill. So I think it's yeah. I hope you'll see me in class. I'm planning to go to class.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.